Hey there everyone, what is up? This is my new custom mask video. Hope you guys liked the last one. I don't know what to say, you guys are awesome when coming out with designs, especially the symbolism. So, on with the next one. So here's my current custom. This is made by Despero. That's his alias name. He doesn't want me to reveal his real name, which is totally fine with me. His design name is Despero. It's actually a face mask, and you can see it has a lot of awesome detail. You know, you got the teeth, you got the exaggerated veins, and yeah, so this is gonna be casted in latex. And what's cool about the person who designed this, Despero, he's probably one of the most organized people that I've ever emailed with, and the reason why is because his email was professional looking. You know, I honestly did not have that much questions because everything he wanted me to know is right there on that email, and that's good. And he followed every single one of my directions. So yeah, he followed every single rule. He even listed their latex face mask. He labeled it. Everything's good. Everything's well organized, and I think that's what I believe most people should do when making commissions for me. Because guess what? A lot of people, what they tend to do is they tend to send me a lot of Google images. You know, like they send me, "Hey Juan, make me this mask," and it's a Google image of Jason. You know, that doesn't make sense, because if you guys know my process, I don't allow images. You guys have to actually draw it. Oh yeah, did I mention originality? You know, those are like the two main, one of the first rules in my rules and guidelines video and PDF, and most people don't even follow it. So what does that say about you as a person trying to commission me to do custom work for you? You know, what does that say about you? You know, that's really unprofessional, and that just says a lot about you. You know, those people, they're actually pretty organized with how they sent me this. So I think that's something you guys should look up to, you know. But yeah, just to summarize everything, you know, you have to be more professional with how you approach me. It just doesn't make sense how you say, "Make me a mask, make me this one." You know, it doesn't. I'm only looking for people who are actually serious with the design that they want me to bring to life, and I can tell from the serious ones from the ignorant ones. All right, I actually came across a person. He says, "Okay, I've read your PDF and I've watched your video." He ends up sending me. He wants me to do a design that's related to a horror movie. You know that what? If you actually watched my video or downloaded the PDF and understood it fully, you would know that the #1 rule is obviously originality. Okay? Did I also mention that you have to draw your design by yourself? It doesn't make sense. People don't follow the rules, and you know, that's not my loss. That's their loss. So ignored, you know. But yeah. Yeah, this is Despair. Alright, so now let's actually talk about the actual design and what it will feature and what I'm planning to do with it. So let's start off by, he actually wanted two copies, which is awesome because I don't always get commissions like that where they want 2 copies, except for my first one, which ended up becoming more than I expected, so that's good. But yeah, Despair, he wants this to be in latex. It's obviously a latex face mask, you know, and he wants exaggerated veins, as you can see right there, so that's not a problem to sculpt. And he wants a movable jaw, which I love, because guess what, you know, it's like you got a mask with huge fangs and then you have a movable jaw, and I can definitely do that. And speaking of the teeth, I was actually planning on casting it out of a hard surface plastic. What I mean by hard surface is I can always cast the teeth separately using latex, but for this mask, since he emphasized a lot on the teeth, I would think I would cast it using some sort of resin, so it would actually look pretty real and authentic. What I actually told Despero is I'm actually going to put a lot of black fabric behind the mouth and the eyes and the nose, so his skin won't get exposed when wearing the mask. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this mask. Oh yeah, did I also mention he also included a symbolism, which is right behind this page, but I'm not gonna show it to you guys yet. I'm saving that for later. You know what's awesome about you guys who have the time to make designs like this, and out of all the artists in the world, you guys chose me to bring this design to life, and that really means a lot to me, and I thank you guys for that. And to top that off, you guys know very well you guys don't have to put symbolism, but you guys do. Why is that? You know, and that's awesome how my work, you know, motivates you guys to put stories and meanings behind your designs. And that's really awesome. And like I said, you guys don't have to do it. You guys don't have to do the symbolism part, but you guys choose to, which is awesome, which is really awesome. You know, I can't explain that. I can't stress and explain to you guys how much of a positive feeling that is for me. You know, it's a really positive feeling, and it really gets me going. So thank you for those who've chose me to be the artist, and for all those past commissions I've done. You guys are awesome. But anyways, yeah, let's get started on this. So I'm gonna start sculpting the basic muscular structure and everything, the shape. So can't wait for this. I seriously cannot wait for this. So here is the basic rough out of the muscular and skeletal structure. So this is practically the shape of the mask itself, with the jawbone, the forehead, everything. So everything doesn't really need to change now, except for the fact that I need to do the details. So this was a quick process. It should be a quick process for anyone who wants tips on sculpting when doing the rough out of the design. Be sure to lay out your shapes as quickly as possible. You're not really rushing, you're just working efficiently, because making the rough shape of your design is not really something you want to sit days and days on. You know, it's supposed to be quick and easy. While the detail part, that's where you guys can waste your time in, you know. So yeah, this is the rough out. It looks pretty good. It looks awesome. I love it. And as you can see, I stayed true to the original design. I actually did some measurements on the mouth and the eye holes to see if they're the right size based on the drawing. And the mouth is actually the right size as well. So I even got that curve done. See that curve right there? I want to have that there. Of course, it's going to be a lot better on the details. But yeah, here it is. It looks awesome, very badass, and I'll see you guys on the finished sculpture. Alright, hey guys, so here is the finished clay sculpture of Despero, custom mask number 3, and as you can see, this is really looking sick. This is really awesome. All the major details from the drawing is pretty much brought to real life, and this is what it looks like. So exaggerated veins are right there. All the major points are exaggerated as depicted in the drawing. I put more emphasis on the teeth, based most of my time around that. So as you can see, it's not just the fangs that I was working on, but it was also the detail that runs along the fangs. So here's a great example. See that nice flow right there? It goes in between the fangs. So it's this whole entire mask is a flow of detail, similar to Beast with the cracks. This one is pretty much indents and wrinkles and whatnot. I don't even know if you consider these wrinkles, but it's detail. As long as it looks good, and as long as it has a flow, then the mask will look good no matter what. So here's more of that flow that I was talking about, right there. See that? And it just runs along there on the cheeks, and it really brings the mask to a really specific character. This just looks really awesome. You know, imagine seeing this in real life. You would run for your life, and that's the point of the mask, and that's what the designer himself wanted to portray. And I brought to life. And so yeah, here's the finished sculpture, Despero, and this is ready to mold. Despero actually, he's actually about to pay me somewhere this week, and that was actually pretty fast, because usually it takes, you know, people a couple of days or sometimes weeks to, you know, pay up. But this guy, you know, he's gonna pay me soon, which means I can get started on the molding and casting soon. And before you know it, airbrushing, as well as finishing up the mask and shooting the video for it, and then I'm gonna send it off to him. So here we are on the mold making step of Despero. Now, I did say in a past video, in which I cannot remember, I did say I wasn't going to post any more clips on the mold making because it's pretty much pointless, right? You guys know what a plaster mold looks like, and I think it's pretty pointless to show it to you guys, because all it is just a mold. Like, what is there to say, you know? But in this case, it's different for Despero, because not only it has a mold of the actual mask, but it also has the mold of the fangs, in which I want to talk about right now. So this whole clip that you guys are watching right now, this is not the main show. Like, this mold, you guys see it? It's nothing special, right? Nothing special. So I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna concentrate on talking about this. So this is not something you guys usually see when it comes to me making masks, and the reason why is because I never actually applied this technique before until now on a custom mask. So it's pretty interesting to try it out, and if it works, then awesome, I'll use it on a future design. So as you all know, Despero has some fangs. A lot of you are probably wondering why I separated the fangs from the original sculpture and then molded them separately. The reason why is because when you guys sculpt fangs, especially if they're big, or it doesn't matter if they're big or small, what tends to happen when you guys put plaster on it is that the plaster coats the entire fang, and what happens is when you guys pull out the plaster mold, you guys are not gonna be able to pour the latex inside because it's encapsulated in plaster. It's really hard to explain, but the best method to approach things like this, such as teeth or fangs, is to mold them separately, and that's what I did here. And as you all know, the fangs will not be casted in latex. I want this to be authentic, so I'm casting this in plastic. So yeah, it's gonna have plastic fangs. Don't worry about how I'm gonna attach them on to the mask. That's easy. I've already planned that. I already know how I'm gonna do that. And yeah, so this is made from the Monster Maker's monster mold. This type of silicone is not the type of silicone that you use to cast masks. This type of silicone is more on making molds for hard surface materials such as plastic. And Despero, he actually didn't tell me to do this. I did this in my own time. Like, I want the fangs to look good because that's pretty much the focus of his mask, you know. So I said, you know, what the hell, I'll just do this, no charge. So there you go. So yeah, that's pretty much how I thought of doing this. It's not actually part of the main design, but I want this mask to look good, pretty much. And I'm not charging Despero just for fangs, because really, it's not really, this is nothing. This really is nothing to me. This is just a small amount of silicone, and I'm also going to be using a small amount of plastic, so there really is no reason to charge him extra. That's just ridiculous. Well, yeah, here's the block for this is the bottom set of fangs, and this is the top set of fangs. Hopefully I get them right. I can't remember if it's the other way around, but whatever, I'll figure it out once I've casted them. Alright folks, so here is the finished unpainted casts of Despero, and this goes for both of them, obviously. So but yeah, it took me actually a couple weeks to do this because I've been busy, but I pulled it through, and here they are. So you would notice that pretty much it's ready to be airbrushed. So let me go over it real quick. If you guys are wondering how I got this on here so sturdy like that, super glue. If you guys didn't know, plastic or latex, if you guys super glued latex to latex or plastic to latex, it will bond smoothly. Notice how I only put a small dab and I'm wiggling this around and it's not coming off. So it's that durable, you know? But that's for the fangs. It looks really sick. I can't wait to paint this. But yeah, that's that. Everything is all trimmed, you know, that you got the nose hole, you got the mouth holes and stuff. So everything's all good to go for airbrushing. What I did with the movable jaw is I pretty much added more weight to the chin. And this will actually make the movable jaw more sturdier. Alright, so when the slightest push from your chin to the jaw will actually make it move more. So that's good. And let me show you guys the back. So here is, let me move this. So here's Despero without, unfortunately this is not a half-breed mask, so it doesn't have that awesome back piece to it, but that's fine. Because in return, look what I did with the straps. So this was actually, Despero didn't actually have this in the first place. Like, it wasn't part of the design, but I asked them, hey, do you want me to put eyelets on the back, you know, on the straps and stuff? And he said, yeah, sure, it would actually make it look more sick. So I did that. Here's what it looks like, so that's cool. Adds a really nice touch. That's that for the pre-airbrushing stage. So you guys can actually see this before it's airbrushed and painted. So yeah, those are the two Desperos, and I'll see you guys on the finished and polished stage of these two Desperos custom mask. Alright guys, so here are the finished two Desperos, my third custom mask designed by Despero. So yeah, they're pretty much finished now. As you can see, you got all the nice details on the crevices of the mask. I used a variety of different airbrushing techniques that I've learned from these past months to make these paint jobs look awesome. The final layer to finalize all this is pretty much the gloss layer. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for that. These are looking really badass. If you compare them from the drawing to the real masks, it pretty much just brought the drawing to life. And that's the purpose of my custom masks process, is to bring your idea to life. So one of these, I believe this is the original, I'm not sure which one's the original paint job, but he did explain months ago that he wanted one where it's all white, similar to how I painted my Stigmata mask, my first half-breed mask. So I pretty much took the color of that and applied it here, and I did a gradient for both fangs. For the fangs, I used acrylic paint to paint because they're obviously casted in plastic, and as you all know, plastic can pretty much be painted using anything, you know, spray paint, acrylic paint, pretty much anything. And that's what I did here. He pretty much wanted the gradient as well, you know, from white to darkish gray, from red to dark gray. So that's pretty easy to do, and it was really fun, and it really gives it that nice look to these two masks. Alright, and you got the nice red veins, red cell veins going on from the blue mask. So everything's all good. This is one badass design that I brought to life for someone. It's really memorable. So now I'm going to talk about the things that I've learned by making these two Despero masks that were designed by Despero. I will have a segment like this on every single custom mask video. I just believe it's important to always review what you've learned by a recent masterpiece that you just did. I think it's important because you need to know what you've learned in order for you to grow as an artist, as well as a person. If you keep making artwork in a cycle, you know, if you keep making artwork over and over and not actually review what you've learned, how do you know that you're growing, you know? So I think it's always a good idea to review what you've learned. Write it in notes, tell it to yourself in front of a camera like I'm doing right now. Anything in that nature. If you keep doing this, you would actually get better at what you do. This is my ritual. Like, this is how I do it. So above all, the one thing that I learned by making these two creatures is creating plastic parts to accompany the design. I'm pretty much talking about the plastic fangs, as you guys see right now in these two masks right here. The reason why I'm making a big deal of the fangs being casted out of plastic and then super glued onto these masks, the words can't describe of the amount of things I can do by casting plastic parts and applying them to masks, latex to be more specific. What if they weren't fangs? What if they were like horns and such? What if they were something else? What if they were like part of a robot looking latex mask and I have to put like gears and springs? The part that I like about the method that I did for Despero's design is the fact that plastic pieces can be anything. They can be anything. Like I said, it can be from horns, gears, anything in that nature. So I can pretty much make anything out of plastic and apply them to a latex mask, and that really opens up more possibilities for me to alter my masks. So that is one viable thing I learned. And it's really, really important, and I think it's very vital. So thanks. Alright, so now we have reached the symbolism. Now again, you guys don't have to put symbolism for the designs that you guys send me for custom work. Symbolism, although I do think it's a very nice addition to your work if you do add some sort of story or symbolism, because it makes me feel that I've inspired you enough to put stories and meanings behind the work that you do. And another reason is it makes me love you even more. And it makes me, like, if I had a choice between having someone who has symbolism behind their work and someone who doesn't have symbolism behind their work, I think I'll go over and choose the person who has some sort of symbolism on their work, to be honest. Why not? Why not? They're putting more effort and deep thinking into their drawing and design, so why not bring that to life instead of someone else's design that has no meaning whatsoever, But that's just me personally, okay? I kind of like getting commissions from people who have some sort of symbolism, alright? But anyways, let me tell you guys my interpretation of these two Desperos, okay? This custom mask designed by Despero speaks to me at this moment of my life. Something happened to me personally a couple months ago that really destroyed me within. It brought me unbelievable depression and anger, which lasted for some time. These two masks are the metaphor of certain destructive emotions, because the more you dwell on emotions like that, the more of a monster you become. There's an easy cure for it though, and that is forgiveness and understanding. The truth is, there will be many people that will enter your life, that will accompany you in your journey. Not everyone will always be there in every step of your path, as some end up leaving you. And that's simply how life works, to be honest. You gotta accept it and move on, simple as that. Sometimes the monster becomes our own thoughts, our own despair. We become our own worst enemy. And that's my simple symbolism for these masks. And keep in mind, I will always have symbolism for any commission that I do, no matter even if your design doesn't have a symbolism. Okay, so I'm always gonna have some sort of symbolism to share with you guys. So now let's go over to the designer's symbolism. Now I'm pretty much reading Despero's symbolism as he typed it to me. Okay, so here we go. This is the designer's symbolism. Despair, a state of emptiness inflicted upon the victims of hope. A poison, most foul. It taints the very soul. One of many toxins, if untreated, twists and destroys the afflicted till it has devoured everything, even their humanity. The result, a horrific visage born from the depths, a darkness not yet known to mankind. A force emanating from the soul so powerful the body can no longer refuse. A vision so perverted by this venom that it can only be defined as a monstrosity, and its continued existence, a crime against nature. Befriend it not, insatiable, and beyond salvation. It grows from the life it steals. And that's pretty much his symbolism. And I really can't, this is why I like doing symbolism, because no matter what, you'll always find a way to, there's always a similarity between the designer's symbolism from my symbolism. And they're fairly the same, to be honest, you know? This is why I like symbolism. It really tells a story in the vision of the designer himself, as well as I. You know, it really helps me and him communicate. Like it builds like some sort of strong bond in communication. And that's what I like about making masks and art. Is putting some sort of meaning behind it, and someone out there in the world relates to it. You know, that is why I love putting symbolism in masks, and I suggest you guys do it too. You know, for those of you who want a custom for me, if you really want me to impress me, and if you really want me to get interested to making your design, I suggest you add some sort of story behind it, some sort of symbolism in order to get my attention. All right, and that's just my tip for you. But again, above all, you really don't have to put symbolism behind commissions for me to accept it. All right, a symbolism is not a requirement. Just letting you guys know. So now we have reached the end of this video. So now we have reached the end of my third custom mask video. Before I go, I want to tell you guys something about Despero, the designer of these two masks. Let me tell you something. This person who commissioned me this mask design, he goes by the alias Despero, and he's the most professional person that I've ever communicated with online. The first email that he has sent me had everything I needed for a good start on a commission, and thus it makes it easier for me to start on the sculpture and whatnot, instead of holding people's hands like a baby because they don't know how my process works. This Despero guy had everything I needed in a well, orderly manner. This includes a scanned image of his drawing with labels and everything to help me bring it to life, his typed symbolism, his name and design name, and not to mention everything he said on the email was in paragraph format, you know, with correct grammar and spelling. I wish people approached me for a custom mask in a more professional way, similar to what Despero did a couple months ago. I'm not going to make a custom mask for someone who does not know how I work, you know, how I work as an artist. First impression counts, so please make me feel astonished as to why it's important for me to bring your design to life. I'm actually glad that Despero came by. He literally revolutionized the way how I accept custom work now from people. For future commissions, I'll be looking for how well people present me their designs in a fairly strict manner. I'm doing this because I'm more interested in working with people who have a serious approach to their custom. It's amazing how a lot of people don't follow my simple rules after they've literally just watched and read the rules and guidelines for custom work. If you don't like how my process works, then that's your problem, not mine. That's your loss, not mine. I'm only looking for people who are worth working for to bring their design to life. And how do I know how some people are worth it? The first impression that I get from them based on the email that they have sent me. Simple as that. First impression counts, even for an artist like me. You know, there's a reason why I have a set of rules and guidelines for getting a custom mask for me, because it keeps things nice and orderly. Not to mention it prevents people from BSing themselves into the commission. Having a set of rules and guidelines filters out the unprofessional people from the professional ones. But above all else, Despero, you are the man. I wish more people are like you when they approach me for a custom mask commission, because I really had a lot of fun working with you, and it was damn worth it. People like you are worth bringing their design to life because they are serious with commissioning me, and not to mention there is a deep purpose of why you chose me to bring your design to life, and that always warms my heart, and that will definitely catch my attention towards accepting your commission. And that'll be it, guys. Thank you, Despero, for this wonderful commission. I can't thank you enough. That will be the end of this video. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys haven't already. I will have more custom masks as time goes on. Please like my Facebook fan page if you guys haven't already. That would be facebook.com/Juan Caparas. Also, please check out my website. As of now, it's not finished yet. As of June, what's today, 21st, 20th? It's not finished yet, but you can still check it out if you want. That'll be www.juancaparas.com. And if you guys have a Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. I tweet pretty much every day when I'm working on art. It's a great way to see what the hell I'm working with, you know. So why not? That'll be twitter.com/evastar13, and I'll see you guys on the next video.